Endurance races, like the 24 Hours of Spa, are specifically designed to push driver, crew, and machine past the point of exhaustion. But for veteran BMW driver Augusto Farfus, that endurance is being taken to the next level. That's because on June 1st, he competed in the fog-shortened Nürburgring 24 Hours. On June 15th, he competed in the 24 Hours of Le Mans, coming in second position in the LMGT3 category. And now, just 2 weeks later, he looks to complete his third 24-hour race in the span of just 1 month. We will jump alongside Augusto Farfus with just over 10 hours remaining in the Spa 24 Hours. And although his marathon month of June is coming to a close, he likely has his toughest miles still ahead of him, because he needs to not only survive these low visibility, low grip conditions, but being back in 22nd position, he needs to fight his way through one of the most competitive GT3 fields on the planet. And as the spray diminishes at these low speeds through the hairpin, we can see that the car up front is the number 77 Mercedes, driven by Arjun Maini, which is for position. Now, although Farfus is back in 22nd position, as he looks to the inside going into Eau Rouge, although he is back in 22nd position, Farfus is still on the lead lap, so the team still can hope for a great result at this 24-hour race. And as they make their way out of Raidillon, Arjun Maini makes his way past a lap down Aston Martin, and Farfus tries to follow him through as well, but visibility is so low. There's another car up in front. I can't quite see what it is. It might be a McLaren. Either way, Farfus goes around the outside of that lapped traffic and makes his way through Lacombe and gets a little oversteer as he goes over that apex curbing on the left-hander. Through Malmedy, he closes in on the Mercedes as they make their way down the hill into Rivage. Now, in dry conditions, the car always wants to understeer through here, so in the wet, that is just exaggerated, and this corner seems like it takes forever. Farfus gets back on the throttle and gets a little kick of oversteer as he finds the limits of the grip in these slippery conditions. Through No Name, we can see that there's a gaggle of traffic up front for Arjun Maini to navigate. As they go down the hill into the double left-hander, they both try to carry as much speed as possible. As Farfus gets a little oversteer on the entry, Maini gets a little wiggle as he has to avoid a lapped Mercedes. With drivers of all different skill levels on track at the same time, it makes these conditions especially challenging because you just don't know who you're behind. Farfus accelerates out of Stavelot and down the long winding straight that leads through Blanchimont and into the Nouvelle Chicane. And as they go through the first left-hander, he closes in on Arjun Maini. He pokes his nose to the inside into Blanchimont, but backs out of it. He has a run through the exit, though, and gets an overlap on the Mercedes as they head into the Nouvelle Chicane. Farfus is on the outside, but brakes as late as he dares into the chicane and gets the position on Arjun Maini as he now sets his focus fully on that number 52 Ferrari up front, which is driven by former GT1 world champion Andrea Bertolini. He looks to the inside of this Ferrari as they head into the hairpin, pulls back in behind to try to set up a better exit. Through the slowest corner on the track, Farfus accelerates down the hill into Eau Rouge. Once again, just looking to the inside of this number 52 Ferrari. Through Eau Rouge, Farfus takes a huge amount of the first apex curb and has a better line through the exit. Coming over the crest, he has the run and is firmly in the draft of that number 52 Ferrari of Andrea Bertolini. Farfus pokes his nose around the outside and makes his way past, up into 20th position, as he now chases the next pack of GT3 cars. Into Piff Paff, he closes in on the number 72 Lamborghini, which is running quite a wide line through this right-left sequence. Coming through the exit, they head into Campus Corner, and once again that Lamborghini runs a really wide line, nearly going off the track on the exit. Into Stavelot, and Farfus is firmly behind this Lamborghini and will look to make a pass once again heading into Blanchimont. Farfus pokes his nose to the right, but then switches over to the left-hand side, getting an overlap with the Lamborghini through the fast left-hander. It's nervous moments, but he is passed as they make their way through the entry, and the Porsches up ahead are fighting for position. That's Fred Makowiecki trying to find his way past Jackson Evans. Into the Nouvelle Chicane, Farfus looks to the inside of the Porsche in the braking zone, but backs out of it before they make their way through the right-hander. They re-accelerate one more time, down the start-finish straight, and Fred Makowiecki is still looking for a way past the Porsche just in front of him. Makowiecki brakes late around the outside and tries to set up for a better run coming out of the corner. He has a slight overlap, but has to fall in behind Jackson Evans one more time. Down into Eau Rouge, and Makowiecki peeks to the inside of the Porsche just in front of him, but falls back in line as they go through the first apex and then over the crest of Raidillon. It is so tricky in dry conditions, but is so much more challenging when the track surface is wet and slippery. Down the Kemmel Straight, and we can see the straight line performance of this BMW. Farfus, in the draft of the Porsche, pulls to the right-hand side and eases past the number 92 car, and now sets his sights on Jackson Evans just ahead. Through Piff Paff, Jackson Evans has caught the back of the number 72 Windward Mercedes, which is also for position. But into Campus Corner, there's nowhere for Evans to go, and Farfus is just biding his time, trying to figure out how he's going to work his way through this pack of GT3 cars up in front. Coming out of Stavelot, Farfus gets hard on the throttle and is firmly in the draft of that Porsche. He pokes his nose to the left-hand side, nearly going off the road, but makes his way alongside and then past that Porsche. With limited visibility and low grip that carries so much speed through Blanchiment, it is hard to comprehend how much guts and courage it takes to drive these cars in these conditions. But it's what we've grown to expect in GT3 racing nowadays. Down the hill into Eau Rouge, and Farfus is once again looking for a way past the Mercedes as he pokes his nose to the inside. They dab the brakes to the left-hander and then squeeze the throttle as they come over the crest through Raidillon. And that Mercedes is caught behind a Porsche that's a few laps down. Farfus now has the run on the Stuttgart car and pulls to the right-hand side as the Mercedes squeezes Farfus on the straight, trying to make his way past the Porsche as well. But just because this Porsche ahead is a few laps down doesn't mean it's going to be any easier to pass. And as they go through Le Combe, the Porsche is wide and holds up the BMW, which now has a Mercedes all in its rear view camera. Farfus needs to make quick work of this Porsche so that he can escape the clutches of the cars behind. Into Ravage, and he is once again stuck behind this Porsche. And we can see that Mercedes is impossibly close to the rear view camera. As they accelerate out of that right-hander and then through No Name, the Porsche is once again wide and the Mercedes is still looking for a way past this BMW. Down the hill and into Pouhon, the Porsche brakes. It is wide of the entry. Finally, the BMW can find its way past, but the Porsche re-enters just ahead and once again is holding up Farfus as he tries to escape the cars behind. Into Piff Paff, Farfus pulls to the inside of the Porsche and finally makes his way past. Now, with a clear track in front of him, he can pump in fast laps and escape the clutches of the cars behind. And as Farfus brakes into the Nouvelle Chicane, his stint comes to an end and he peels to the right-hand side and into the pit lane. Now, although he is in first position now, that's only on pit sequence, and the 998 BMW will once again fall to the tail end of the top 10 as Dan Harper, who had that scintillating battle for the lead at the Nürburgring 24 Hours, jumps aboard. But we will jump ahead to Harper's next stint because the team elects to be one of the first to put him on dry tires. So as he trundles down the pit lane, this will be a venture into the unknown. He releases the pit lane speed limiter, gets a huge amount of wheel spin as he tries to put the power down. The rear slides out as he goes through that right-hander, and then over the crest, there is still just no grip as he nearly loses it on the pit lane exit. Harper has his work cut out for him to put heat into these dry tires and to start finding speed on this Belgian circuit. As the stint continues, we can see that he is starting to get up to speed, but still under pressure from the cars behind. If we look in the rearview mirror, we can see a little triangle, and there is the 92 Porsche of Matt Campbell, who is looking to take Harper's 10th position as he struggles for grip through Le Combe. Through Malmedy, that Porsche is looming larger and larger in the rearview camera. Down the hill into Ravage, Harper brakes as late as he dare, but the car just understeers wide as he struggles to find grip, and the Porsche looks around the inside of the BMW. Harper slides through the exit, through No Name. Harper has to run a tight line, and Campbell executes the over-under, making it past the BMW and bringing that Porsche up into 10th position overall. Into Pouin, Harper is fighting to stay as close as he can to this number 92 Porsche and hoping that he can get some heat into these dry tires. And as they come through the exit, we can see the Porsche understeering. Harper now has the pace on these dry tires, looks to the inside of the Porsche, but thinks better of it through the right-left sequence and falls in behind the 92 car. As they make their way through the left-hander, that Porsche is struggling for grip. These dry tires are now the faster tires. Into Campus Corner, and Campbell slides wide in his Porsche. Harper keeps the tighter line and has a better run as they make their way through Stavilo. Once again, the Porsche sliding wide, but Harper's sliding as well. He has more momentum though, and as Campbell goes to the right, Harper goes to the left and makes his way past that Porsche to regain 10th position. As the stint continues, so does Harper's advantage, and he closes in on the number 66 Attempto Racing Audi through Piff Path. Through the right-hander, then the left-hander, we can see this Audi just has absolutely no grip on its wet tires, and Harper easily finds his way past as they head into Campus Corner. It was risky for them to put on these dry tires so early, but with Harper able to survive those first few treacherous laps, he now has an advantage over the entire field. As he heads down the hill into Ravage, he closes in on the number 34 Aston Martin, driven by Ross Gunn. Through this long-duration right-hander, we can just see how little grip that Aston Martin has. It's a little slide on the exit for Harper as he gets the overlap and makes the pass into No Name. At this point, it becomes clear that the dry tires are the correct tires to be on. So, as Harper enters Pouin, the rest of the field has now pitted to put on dry tires, leaving Harper in the lead of the race. As he gets a huge snap of oversteer through the exit, and if we look to the left, we can see that there is a BMW stopped on the side of the road. So, as Harper makes his way through Stavilo, we can see on his screen that a full course yellow is coming out in 20 seconds. As Harper slams on the brakes for this full course yellow, and the safety crew is coming out to recover that number 30 BMW, Harper will enter the pit lane to take an essentially free pit stop. As he encounters some sort of traffic jam in the pit lane, he pulls to the right-hand side as those cars get moving once again. And with Nürburgring 24-hour pole sitter Max Hesse jumping aboard, he will rejoin the race directly behind the pace car, still in first position. With the race going green, the number 998 car drives off into the distance, firmly in the lead of the race. Unfortunately, although this 998 BMW was the class of the field in mixed conditions, now that the track has dried out, their pace advantage has dwindled. So, as Harper exits the pit lane with just under 4 hours remaining in the race, he is under extreme pressure from the 007 Aston Martin, who is just behind. Harper tries to put the power down, coming out of the pit lane exit, but just isn't able to do so, and Nicky Team is firmly in the draft of this number 998 car, and we can see that just behind both of them is the number 51 Ferrari, which is closing in and then makes its way past, going down the Kemmel Straight. Team is looking to make his way past as well. He brakes late around the outside, but is not able to complete the move as he swings in behind one more time. Harper tries to hold on through Malmedy, but Team is all over the back of this BMW. He gets the overlap and is on the inside as they head into Ravage. Team brakes as late as he dare. Harper slides slightly wide as they make contact through the apex, but Team is through and pushes Harper down into a net third position as they make their way through No Name. Harper and this 998 crew will not give up though, and will keep pushing, but they just do not have the pace to keep up with the Aston Martin and the Ferrari, which are now ahead. To add insult to injury, the number 998 had to pit for a slow puncture with just over 65 minutes remaining in the race. That meant that they had to execute a splash and dash with just 2 laps remaining, which dropped them from 2nd to 6th position as they took the checkered flag. An incredible performance that ultimately led to an unassuming result. Anyways, if you guys made it this far, thank you so much for watching, so much for supporting. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you guys. June was an incredible month for this channel, the best month I've ever had. So thank you guys so much for watching and so much for supporting. I really appreciate it. appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.